Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video, we are talking about My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To. This is a film that is available to watch for free on Peacock. That is where I watched it, if you would like to. And it is a vampire film, which if you are not new to the channel, you know that I love my vampires. This film is very different, though. It follows these three siblings, one of which is a vampire, and it's about their relationship and especially the older siblings dealing with having to take care of their younger sibling who is very sick. And it's very interesting the fact that it doesn't focus so much on being a vampire film. It's really a film that's about the relationship of this family. It heavily focuses on the older brother, who is actually played by Patrick, I might be pronouncing his last name wrong, but it's Patrick Fugit, who, if you don't recognize his name, you probably would recognize his face. He was in a lot of early 2000s films like Almost Famous, Risk Cutters, Saved, and we focus a lot on him and his struggles with kind of trying to decide between having to kill people to keep his brother alive and his moral feelings about it. He's not ecstatic. He does not like having to do this, and he's kind of gotten to this place of really being uncomfortable with what he's had to continue to do, and the pressure of being the one that kind of has to go out and do this while his brother and his sister stay home. His sister's kind of the breadwinner. She has a job and is really the one kind of keeping this whole situation, trying to keep this whole situation together. And it's a very artsy film, which I feel like you can kind of gather from the title of this film that it'd be quite artsy, and it really is. And the way that the film's shot reminded me kind of Creep. Not exactly, because obviously if you've seen Creep, it is a found footage film and it's meant to be like that, but this film just somehow still managed to kind of give me those same vibes. It's shot with a lot of close-ups on the character, so you really kind of feel like you are involved, like you are in the room with these characters. And it was a really good film. I really liked it. It's quite a long film. I will say that, so keep that in mind if you do decide to watch this, that it wraps up around, I want to say the 2-hour mark, which isn't necessarily anything new for horror film, but just so you know, it's not a shorter film. The film also has Owen Campbell in it, who was recently in X. He plays the Thomas character, who is this vampire, and he definitely did a really good job. I feel like everybody does a really good job in this film, and it's a very small cast. You have one or two, you have a couple of kind of side characters that pop up, obviously kind of are victims and things, but really the film is focused on these three people, and all of the actors did a really good job, and you definitely feel for them, each character, and kind of their decisions that they're having to make, and just especially Thomas, because like I said, this film doesn't focus really heavily on the fact that he's a vampire. That is obviously an aspect of this, but it really is about their whole relationship and the relationship of these two older siblings having to care for somebody who is extremely ill, and that's how it's treated. His vampirism is treated like it's this illness that he is suffering with, and he is he's weak. He's not your kind of strong, tough, sexy vampire thing. He's really weak, and if he doesn't get this blood supply, it continues to weaken him even more, and he's just kind of having to live. Like, there's the scene, this film has a lot of very heartbreaking scenes, and there's one in particular where Thomas is talking about not wanting to have to live like this. Like, he wants to be able to go out and make friends and do things, and he can kind of hear other children in the neighborhood playing, and he wants to be able to go out and have those friendships, and he doesn't really understand why he can't, and he gets frustrated, and he just says, you know, that he doesn't want to live like this anymore, and it's sad and pulls at your heart for sure. So all in all, so again, I really liked this film. I think it's a very interesting way to tell the story of vampirism, or someone dealing with being a vampire that isn't, you know, like a fun or sexy way of telling the story. It's really heartbreaking and sad at times. So keep that in mind. This film may make you feel quite emotional, but I think it's definitely worth checking out if you have the time, and if you are into artsy films. If you're not new to the channel, you know, those generally don't tend to be my route. Like, not generally big at those. I tend to lean more towards, like, the fun films, especially with vampire films. But this one was just done so well. So if you have seen this film, let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big old thumbs up, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button for more horror-related content, and I will see you all again later with another video. Bye!